Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Recovery Classroom. My name is Drew. I am an alcoholic, and today I'm a recovering alcoholic, and I cannot be any more grateful. I want to give a special shout out and thank you to Melissa, Drenda, and Aaron for coming down and hanging out at our Crosstalk Saturday meeting, Crosstalk panel. Every Saturday we go into a treatment facility. We get to talk to the clients. We do different things. I have a lot of fun, but yesterday was great. Those three ladies just came in and kicked ass, and so I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. You guys shared such a vast amount of experience, strength, and hope with the clients, and I could tell that they appreciate it. I know we certainly appreciate it too. And Melissa, I know you had quite a drive, so thank you for coming down. But to all three of you guys, it was so much fun. All that bubbliness in the room, it was contagious for sure. So thank you once again. I want to talk today about that single most important relationship that we develop. Now, before I start, I want to set the stage. I want to take you back maybe in your own personal history. Think back to a time maybe when you were in high school, maybe college, maybe at a job, and you have your friends, you have your coworkers, people you've known for a while, you're comfortable with, maybe that you interact with them on a daily basis. So you've established that comfort level, and you're going about your life, and all of a sudden somebody new, somebody you've never seen before, somebody you've never spoken to, never even knew existed, they come into the class. Maybe they just transferred into your class. New kid in school, right? Maybe they just got hired on. Oh, he's the new employee, right? But you've never seen this person, you've never talked to this person, but your friends, the people you do know, they come up and say, "Hey, you know who that guy is? You know who that person is? Did you hear that they did this? Can you believe they said that? Holy crap! Did you hear that this happened to him? That happened to him?" And so lo and behold, what happens is you start forming ideas and opinions about this person whom you've never spoken to, based upon what other people are telling you. And it may even get to the point where you say, you know what, I don't even want to talk to that person because that guy sounds like an asshole. I don't even want to take a chance to get to know that person because they sound mean. Fuck no, I don't want to get to So you avoid them. And then maybe one day, a couple weeks later, maybe a couple years later, you happen to run into that person. You happen to be in a situation where a conversation begins, a conversation starts. And lo and behold, you find out, you start talking to this person, you're like, well, they don't sound that bad. And you get to know this person a little bit more, and you start thinking, shit, this person seems pretty cool. And maybe everything I was told about this person before was wrong. Holy shit, this person seems pretty cool. Everything I was told about that person before might have been wrong. I can attest to that because that situation happened to me many times. But the biggest time, the most critical time that ever happened to me was coming to talk about God. God, yes. Now, before I start, I am the most anti-religious person. I am not a religious person at all. I'm not here to talk to you or preach to you about God and as far as salvation and all that. That's not it at all. I like to say that, religion is for people who are afraid to go to hell. Spirituality is for people who've already been there. So when I say God, you can think of it however you want to think of it. For me, it's easier to say God than it is to say higher power. Or it's easier to say God than it is to say a power greater than myself. So when I speak of God, just know that I'm talking about something that is a lot more powerful than what I ever thought I was. But that scenario I told you, where you meet somebody and you're forming your ideas and opinions based upon what other people have told you. That's what happened to me. See, when I was born, I didn't come out of the womb with a manual, genetically encoded in my DNA that told me how to interact with God. Matter of fact, hell, when I came out of the womb, I didn't even know there was a God. I had to be told by my parents, and I was taught how they interacted with Him. So I just automatically thought that's how I have to interact with Him. And then as I'm growing up, people are telling me, "Oh, this is what happened with God, and that's what happened with God. Did you know that God did this? Did you know that God did this?" And so over time, I start thinking, I didn't know what to think, actually, truth be told, because I never took time to stop and talk to God. I never took time to stop to get to know God and understand God and form my own conception. My conception of God, my ideas and beliefs in God were based upon what other people told me. Can't other people be wrong? Sure, don't get me wrong. As I'm growing up, I'm seeing things I'm seeing a sequence of events line up and take place where it created what one might call a miracle. You might say, hey, that's divine intervention. No, that's a miracle. Or sure, maybe that's just coincidence. So I started thinking, if all these miracles are taking place in my life, quote unquote miracles or coincidences, whatever you want to call them, if God is responsible for these miracles, wouldn't He also be responsible for the bad things that's happened too? And then over time, I started paying more attention to all the bad things that had happened. I was going, God, how could you let that happen? How could you? You must fucking hate me. God must hate me. And by 2013, I started thinking I had a problem with alcohol, came into the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous. I wasn't convinced yet, but I thought I had a problem. So I came into the rooms, and sure enough, I heard God. Well, by that point in my life, God hated me. God wanted nothing to do with me, and I didn't want anything to do with God. So if God is a requirement for AA, for me to get sober, I'll be okay. I'm not really an alcoholic. And so, yeah, I went back out. What I failed to realize was when they were talking about God, they were talking about their own conception of God. When I heard them say God, I immediately flashed back to that idea of God in my own head. And so finally, 8 years later, after trying to prove to the world, trying to fight that war, that I am not an alcoholic, you just watch me day in, day out, trying to fight that battle with myself, trying to win the war of convincing you that I was not an alcoholic. After 8 years, long years of doing that, I didn't surrender. I just lost a fucking war. I lost that war. By July of 2021, I had resigned my fate. I had lost that war, lost a battle, lost every battle, at trying to prove I wasn't an alcoholic. And again, I didn't surrender. I just lost the fucking war. So I didn't have a choice. When I came back into the rooms, I knew they were going to be talking about God. I didn't know how that was going to work out. But by the time I came back into the rooms, I had already admitted I was powerless over my alcoholism. I'd already admitted I was powerless over my addiction. I'd already admitted that my life was unmanageable. Matter of fact, I didn't know what to do. I felt like God was, again, playing a cruel joke on me. God hated me so bad. He was forcing me to sit front and center on the sidelines as my life fell into the shitter, as my life fell apart. I was forced to watch my life be destroyed. Everything I'd worked for, wanted so much, and worked so hard for in my life, I was forced to watch it be destroyed. So by the time I came back into the rooms in 2021, I'd already admitted I was powerless over alcohol and that my life was unmanageable. So now what? Step two. See, I'd already taken step one. Step two, came to believe that a power greater than myself could restore me to sanity. I believed there was a God out there that could restore me to sanity. I just didn't know if he would restore me to sanity. And so that's when, as I started working the steps, that's when I started realizing these things that people had told me about God, all this gossip, all this hearsay that I had acquired in 46 years about this person whom I never met, all these things could have been wrong. Matter of fact, they probably were wrong. And that's where I got to learn my own ideas about God, form my own opinions about God, and get to know my own God. And I am proof positive. I can sit right here and tell you, and I will preach this till the day I die, not that I'm a preacher. There have been more miracles since I've gotten to truly know the God of my own understanding than I can count. Matter of fact, I look back and I never turned my back on God, or God never turned his back on me. I'm the one who turned my back on God. I'm the one who walked away. I'm the one who stopped paying attention to the miracles, to the wonderful things he was doing, because I was so focused on all the bad shit that was happening in my life. I want to encourage you today, the single most important relationship you can form in your life. And I say this, if my wife was in here, I'd tell her this, she'd say, I know, my kids know this. My relationship with my higher power is more important to me than my marriage, more important to me than my children, my relationship with my children, more important to me than my relationship with my dogs. My dogs are pretty high up there too. My relationship with my higher power is the single most important relationship I've ever had in my life, and all 50 years almost. God, I can't believe I'm that old. So I want to encourage you today, tune out what everybody else said about a God of your own understanding, about this higher power, about this creative intelligence in the universe, and start forming your own ideas and opinions about who you want your higher power to be. So with that being said, I'll let you guys go. Thank you guys for letting me come in and share 5 to 10 minutes of your day with you. You guys absolutely keep me sober, and I cannot be any more appreciative. If there's a topic you'd like to hear discussed, feel free to email it to me, Drew, D-R-E-W, at recoveryclassroom.org. I'll take a look at it, see what we can do. You can like and share these videos on Facebook with your friends. Invite your friends to the Recovery Classroom, where there's always a bunch of people. If you ever just need to talk and get things off your chest, there's message into us, and there's a whole bunch of us back on the back end there. I'd be more than happy to talk to you. So we'll be talking again soon. Remember, guys, you can't get drunk if you don't take that first drink.